Welcome to the Random Bites podcast, available on Spreaker.com, iTunes, Google Play, and just added to iHeartRadio. A new podcast every day featuring interviews and a unique take on the world we live in. So sit back, relax, and enjoy Random Bites. Here is your host, Alan Wayne. Hello and welcome to Random Bites, episode 26, titled, Are You Afraid of Ghosts? Ooh. Yeah, it's nothing to really joke about. The paranormal is a huge market right now. There are plenty of shows, even here on Spreaker, that deal with the paranormal and ghost hunting and everything else. It's become a rather wonderful and large phenomenon. So we're going to get into a couple of the bigger names in the paranormal. One of those guys has his own show, quite by accident, if you ask him. Zak Bagans was just a filmmaker at one time in his life, and then he came across a ghost rather unexpectedly. And this encounter drove him, it possessed him, in a manner of speaking, no pun intended, of course, to pursue the art of ghost hunting. So Zak Bagans does, he does quite a bit with the paranormal nowadays. I mean, he went from somebody who wasn't really doing anything with the paranormal to building a multi-million-dollar empire, which includes a museum, numerous artifacts of the macabre and the dead, a cult following, and a show that has been running for 14 seasons on cable television called Ghost Adventures. I'd like to welcome our daddy to the chat room, #winning, #damn right. So, we're going to hear a little bit from Zak Bagans here. This is a clip from his first encounter with a ghost on the air. Now, this is how this came about. He had an encounter with a ghost. He was a filmmaker. He had an encounter with a ghost, so he thought, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and enlist these two other guys I know, Nick Groff and Aaron Goodwin, and we're going to go and we are going to do ghost hunting. We're going to film it. So they basically took what meager supplies they had, and they went out and they tried to prove the existence of ghosts and the paranormal. So we're going to hear this first clip. Now, keep in mind, Zak's been doing this for damn near over 15 years now. So his reactions when a ghost comes through, or he perceives that he sees a ghost, or something paranormal is happening, are rather different than this very first time. Here is some audio entitled Ghost Adventures, Flying Brick.
You want me to go in? Is that you? Making all that noise?
This is the room.
What room?
What I'm talking about.
Is that you making all the noise? Holy oh my god! Holy ah!
Okay, now from the get, there are two reactions I have. Number one, if I were doing paranormal investigations and a brick flew at me, I would probably react the same way. I'm just saying, I would probably react the same way as he did and scream my bloody lungs out and scream like a little girl on Christmas. But that being said, keep in mind that Zak Bagans is by trade, or was by trade, a showman. He was by trade a showman. He was a filmmaker, a storyteller. So keep that in mind as you listen to this clip. And of course you can hear that the music's been edited in and everything else. I mean, any filmmaker worth of salt likes to add music into his stuff. So, just give it a listen and let me know what you think.
Stop! Go! Jesus Christ, please help me.
Now, let me set the scene for you. We had quite a bit of dead air and just kind of screaming. The two are in different areas of the house, and apparently Zak gets a brick hurled at him from out of nowhere, and he's pretty freaked out. This is a haunted place. I forget if it's a house. I think it's a mansion, and they're in different areas, and he gets a brick thrown at him. He's mad. He's upset, obviously. And it's all in the dark, and they're using night vision to see. So it is a rather creepy time, I'd imagine.
Hey, Nick! Come on!
How could we run from something that we've been trying to capture for months? There are limits beyond our own cognitive control that we cannot withstand no matter how brave you are. We may have run, but we ran with this imprinted on our film reels.
I'm going to take a look at some additional footage captured by Zak and Nick. I'm going to give an analysis to see if it's been tampered with. All right, I've got some editing software that is used for infrared and night vision cameras and surveillance cameras that allows you to pick up things that you can't see normally with the naked eye. So we're going to go ahead and get started with that right now. All right, we're going to take a look at some footage here of a brick that takes flight, and here you can see it go off right here, right there. I'm going to bring up some graphics right here in a second that's going to show you of a straight line on which if the brick was launched or pulled in any way that it would have gone in a straight line, and you'll be able to see that underneath the line, you'll be able to see the brick come right here underneath the line there, kind of dip down underneath of it right there. Here's another view of it, dip down and kind of went in an arch there. So, in my opinion, that it doesn't look like it's been tampered with. It looks like that something threw this brick. The next thing that I visually observed is the spinning of the brick. Okay, I'm using the vector scope here to enhance the video. I'm getting rid of the ambient noise or the fuzz to see if there's any fishing line or rope or string or something attached to the brick, and you would see it in through the video here. You would be able to see the lines of it, especially after this brick takes flight.
So they are intently studying this video of a brick flying across the screen, across the camera there, and they're intently studying this, trying to debunk it. That's one thing I do like about Ghost Adventures, is that they, at least on the surface, are trying to debunk a lot of the things that happen. Well, when they talk about light anomalies, things that float across the camera lens or anything like that, they try to debunk them, and they say, well, it doesn't have the same flight pattern as a moth or anything else. They really get into it, so it's really, really good. But anyway, so Zak Bagans took that humble beginning, just him, two other guys, a camera, a microphone, and a couple of hookups with some guys who had some paranormal technology that I'm sure nobody really paid attention to before this phenomenon of paranormal activity, and decided to turn it into a show, submitted it to, believe it was Discovery, and they picked it up, and the rest is history. Zak Bagans now has his own haunted museum in Las Vegas that includes such items as Jack Kevorkian's van, the van where he performed his famous assisted suicides, as well as the chair that Michael Jackson sat in to have Propophol administered to him, and other oddities. I cannot wait to see what happens when I go into that place next week. And by the way, I'm going into Vegas Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, but fear not, I do have some rather tasty tidbits to share with you guys, and those will be on Random Bites. These are episodes from way back when. I'm going to call them Random Recap or Random Replay or something like that. But this is going to kind of shine a light on what I've been through here on Spreaker and my podcasting journey. So I hope you guys like that. For those of you who are fans of the drama, well, it's going to be a good 3 days, because this will bring back some good memories. So, anyway, Zak Bagans, keep in mind, being a showman, being somebody who is a filmmaker, knows how to do it, basically. Is he putting us all on? His shows are very stylishly done, and they are very well edited, of course. And it makes one wonder, with a skeptic's mind, if a filmmaker can basically make you see anything. if Zak Bagans and his crew was picked up for a show, they have quite a budget to be able to study the paranormal. And it looks like they're doing it all by the book. They have the classic EVP recorders. They have the latest in computer imaging software, which can detect the movement of anomalies that cannot be seen by the naked eye. They have cameras, infrared sensors, heat detectors. They have so many different toys to play with. And all they have to do is go to these supposedly haunted places and actually sleep in there, in the haunted place, spend the night. I remember one time when I was a child, I was a Boy Scout. Yes, I was a Boy Scout. I forgot how to tie a bowline knot. I forgot how to do all of that. But being a Boy Scout, we did quite a few things that were really interesting. And I remember the only badge I wanted, I did not want any, knot tying badge or I didn't want any citizenship badge or anything like that. There was this one badge, this one patch that you could wear on your shirt in the place of your Boy Scout troop patch, and it was called the Ghost Hunters patch. It was badass. It was black with a purple outline of a Grim Reaper, skeleton crossing bones, a skith, everything. It was a badass patch, and I'm pretty sure I have it somewhere. It is probably the best Boy Scout patch I ever received. All I had to do was drive down to this area near Camp Pendleton on an Indian reservation and spend the night in what was known as a haunted adobe. I remember that there wasn't supposed to be electricity in these adobes, but my neighbor, or at least the boys that were staying in the other room, got to have the lights on all night. And I recall not sleeping a wink because I was too scared. I was like 10 years old. I was so scared of everything around me. I was creeped out. I was creeped out thinking that there were going to be like Indians coming to scalp me, and the ghosts of like tomahawks flying at me. My imagination was extremely vivid, and it was working overtime that night. So ever since then, I've been very, very, very interested in the paranormal, and I did get the badge. I spent the night, I did get the badge. I didn't go running out scared. It was wonderful. So, if you guys know who Zak Bagans is, check out Ghost Adventures, obviously. Check out the YouTube videos, but also let me know in the comments, is he kind of doing this for show? Because keep in mind, he was a filmmaker before all this happened, so he did have some kind of experience, and some of his reactions are just really dramatic. He goes from being scared pissless in that clip that I shared with you to being almost like he's daring ghosts. And he's made a whole thing of it. He goes on talk shows, talks about how he can't have a girlfriend because they attack the girls with him and everything else, and the ghosts that follow him. And it is really something wild. For the skeptic, Zak Bagans is nothing but a showman and a charlatan playing on people's hopes that there is something after this life, or at least playing on their fear of spooky things and their interest in the macabre. Whatever it is, Zak Bagans has become a very, very successful man doing it, and he puts on a very good show. Check out Ghost Adventures on Discovery Channel. Also check out their videos on YouTube. You can catch most of the episodes. They've been, for lack of a better word, pirated and slowed down a bit, so you can watch most of their episodes. Just type Ghost Adventures into YouTube, and you have an afternoon worth of paranormal entertainment. If anything else, these shows